Yo, what's going on guys, and welcome to my next video about League Start currency making strategies for patch 3.15, and this time around I'm gonna be talking about Blighted Maps. So Blighted Maps are one of these League mechanics where you don't have to do any of your atlas. You can just reach your maps, finish your campaign, maybe do some of the first maps to get some additional currency, farm up tabula rasa, get some currency to be able to buy tier 1 blighted maps, and just straight up start doing them. Obviously you will need a pretty good build for blighted maps to be able to do them just from the like with character level 70, so you should research some good builds, but the build that I recommend is Toxic Rain. It is a bit nerfed, but obviously every build is nerfed next league, but I do believe it is still gonna be really good for blighted maps, since first of all your pods are slowing monsters, so it is actually really helpful for blighted maps, and also you can stand in the middle and shoot on one lane and then start shooting second one, and your previous pods are still dealing damage over there, so you can pretty much hit both lanes at the same time, so it is really good. But also obviously there are a lot of different builds like totems, minions. There's a lot of builds that are good for blighted maps. So one of the reasons why blighted maps are so good during the league start is chaos recipe. So if you don't know what chaos recipe is, you basically sell full set of rare unidentified items to a vendor and you get 2 chaos for it. So you need 1 amulet, 2 rings, 2 rare weapons, boots, gloves, chest, and so on, and you get 2 chaos for it. So you might be wondering why I have so many rings and amulets here. So actually this is loot from just one tier 6 blighted map. So I got here 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 27 rings. So you need 2 rings for recipe, so that's 16 chaos recipes, and each recipe is 2 chaos, so that's 27 chaos just from one map. And I got even more amulets, so you will actually eventually will have more amulets than rings most of the time, and in my experience I actually eventually need to get much more weapons than normally when doing just mapping and so on. The weapons become your bottleneck. So the tier 6 should be around 20c blighted map, so just from chaos recipe I would pay for the map and get more. So every other loot that you get from blighted map is basically free at that point. Obviously I think this time around I was lucky, so you shouldn't expect all of the time to get so many rings and amulets, but there is a lot of the jewelry chest and they are actually quite common, so you should expect quite a lot of them. So the way you would start doing them is you just start doing tier 1s at the start. Eventually you will get few oils, and to make the encounter easier you can do let me show you the oils. You would do them with clear and with sepia for just reduced movement speed and reduced for tower to deal increased damage, and you should save all of your amber oils. Eventually when you start doing tier 6s, so you would start with tier 1s, then eventually tier 2, 3, 4, 5, they are not that much harder, so you shouldn't have any issues. But when you start doing tier 6s, at the start you should be doing them with amber oils, since amber oils are the best for reducing the difficulty of these maps. So you can have up to 60% with 3 of them, reduced cost of building the towers. So this makes tier 6 Blighted Maps pretty easy. You can do tier 6 Blighted map pretty much straight from the beginning if you have Amber Oils. Then the next progress would be to do tier 6s, but with, for example, teal oils for reduced duration of the encounter, so you can get up to 120 seconds, or you can go for other oils for some Blighted Maps chests to be lucky. Blight bosses are also pretty good, but they make encounter much harder, since, well, you have to fight 9 additional bosses with 3 of them, but each boss duplicates the amount of chests you gain from that lane, so bosses are actually pretty good. The best one, in my opinion, is Violet Oil, since you get 60% chance for additional chests, and you get 20 lanes, so 20 chest rows for the one Blighted Map. So that's, I think, like 12 additional chests, so it is actually really good. Crimson Oil are also decent for 10 Blighted chests to be lucky. So again, you would start with tier 1s, eventually start doing tier 6 with Amber Oils, eventually, if you have enough gear, you drop Amber Oils and start using some increased reward oils like teal oils, violet oils, azure, indigo on crimson, and preferably violet if you have a lot of them. And also you can start eventually doing them rare. So map quantity also affect blighted chest at 20% value for blighted map. So it is actually pretty good to use alchemies on them. But it also makes encounter much harder, so you need to make sure you are able to do them. Eventually, I would do like tier 6 to tier 9, maybe 10s, depending on the price of them. And after I get enough gear, I would jump straight into tier 13s. So do not even do tier 11s, tier 12, because tier 13s can start dropping the golden oils. So there is quite a big difference between tier 13 and 12. So 12 and 11s are usually not worth their price. And from yellow ones, you can still do the chaos recipe, I think up until the tier 6. And you actually don't need all of your rings and amulets to be below item level. I think it is 75 for chaos recipe. Let me quickly check. So yes, you need up to level 74. And these are from tier 6, so 75 is from, I think, rare monsters, 73 is from chests. So, and this is tier 6, so up to tier 8 you can, no, to tier 7 you can do chaos recipe. But if you have, for example, all of your set higher level than 74, and one of the items is lower, so 74 and below, you will still actually get chaos. So what you can do is you can do like tier 8, 9s and so on, and get a lot of items, and just do from time to time 1 or 2 lower tier blighted maps and get your just missing few items from there, just to lower the item level of recipe. And also you can check the prices of regal orbs. Maybe regal recipe is also worth it. And yeah, eventually you will do tier 13s. And if you start doing tier 13s, I would drop doing chaos recipe, and I would for sure use violet oils on tier 13s and above. And this way you will actually get more money, since red blighted maps are much more worth it, mostly because of golden oils. So the amount of time you save by not doing your chaos recipe, you will be able to do more of these maps with that time, so it is actually worth doing it. So now quickly let me just show you one map. I'm pretty sure everyone knows how blighted maps work, but I'm gonna show it, and this is with the reduced duration, just so it is quicker. And by the way, it says it 120 seconds, but actually the increased effect of modifiers on non-unique maps from Awakening bonus actually works for blighted maps, so for oils for blighted maps. So in this case I will actually get like 150 seconds shortened encounter. So let's do it. This is without alchemy, just so I don't die. And in terms of towers, there are pretty much only 3 towers that are worth like spamming, just doing them, which are scout towers from minions, meteor towers from fire towers, and chain from lightning towers. So let me just show you all 3 of them. So here is the chaining arc tower. The arc tower is the best for clear. So if you have a build that is really good with single target but not that great with clear, you can do a lot of arc towers. And you can also use ring enchants for these towers to chain additional time. The second one is meteor from fire, and this is the best for single target. So I usually do them, since Toxic Rain doesn't have that great of single target. So I would recommend meteor if you struggle with single target. And the third one, which is pretty much the best one, which is scout tower from minion. And this is just very good because it is versatile. So the monsters will split their damage for smaller minions, and when there is only one, they will all just hit this one target, so they have really high single target. And you can use oils with increase the range for them, and for meteor there is one which drops additional meteor. You can check the PoE wiki, the oils section, to check which enchants with which oils does what. Also, what I like to do is near the pump at the beginning, which I should do at the beginning of the encounter, build few of the petrifying, so stone gaze tower, just to make sure when the monsters are about to reach the pump, they will be slowed. Also, you can do temporal chains, slowing one, so this one, and I would not upgrade the freezing one to higher tier than 3, and I died because I wasn't focusing. The bosses are actually quite hard. So I wasn't building towers, so this encounter is much harder than it would be normally. But it's still pretty good, since my build here is quite expensive. That's why the amber oils are so good, because you can do these maps so easily just with towers. I might even fail this encounter because I haven't been focusing on building. But even if you fail, you still get some chests, so it's still pretty good. I should be fine. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Let me just show you the rewards. So you can see at the bottom which types of rewards I got, and this time around I got only 1 jewelry, so I will actually not get that much chaos recipe. So look at these rings. So I got just 1 ring and 1 amulet, so not that much. But since I didn't get that many jewelry rewards, I got a lot of other ones. So a lot of cards, a lot of essences, just random rewards, and random rewards gives amulet. So that's 2 more chaos recipes, some currency, and even more amulets and rings, and all of your items for other items for chaos recipe. And by the way, using that kind of filter where all of the different types of items are different color is really helpful for chaos recipe. Also, there is a tool for chaos recipe. I think it's called chaos recipe enhancer, which you can check, which you can just google it, and it is actually very good for doing your chaos recipe faster. So here I will get some weapons for chaos recipe, scarabs, which are very expensive during league start. Here no jewelry, some stacked decks, another belt for chaos recipe, and oils. No luck with golden oils. Also, the pump drops unique items, so you will quite often get the gloves, which are quite expensive, but the other ones are also pretty good. The helmet and boots, but mostly the gloves are pretty good. And the chest, but chest is super rare. So that's pretty much it. This is the strategy that I might do a little bit at the league start, depending on how much currency I need. If at any point I think I need some currency, maybe to buy more maps or something, I might swap into it. But I did this strategy pretty much every single league for the last like 5 leagues, so I am quite bored of it, but it was very, very good. So if you want to see how am I gonna do during the league start, I'm gonna be streaming pretty much all the time for the first week. My channel name on Twitch TV is called ZenM. I will link it in the description, so you can see me there. And if you want to see more of the league start strategies, make sure to subscribe to my channel to see more of them. And see you next time.